Hello everybody and welcome back to my final review on review day of Robert's Movie Talk. And this final review is going to be of the new film X-Men Days of Future Past. Now, let's just start with the bad things about the film. Here's some bad things that I had about it. I feel like I kind of wanted a little bit more Quicksilver. I'm going to go full-on spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film, add this to your watch later list and come back and watch it later. I think that they could have had more Quicksilver. Quicksilver is only in about 30 minutes of the film, and when he's in it, he stole the show when he's in it. I think that Quicksilver was very well used. When I first saw him, I'm like, I don't know, he could be good. And some of his pictures look stupid, and I kind of got scared. But there's this one scene where he stops time, and doesn't stop time, but and he puts his headphones on and he plays his song, and he just runs along the wall and takes a little sip, and then arranges things and arranges the bullets. It's so good. I really like the way that it was used. His character was really well done. He went from this weirdo to this silly guy, and he didn't jump too over the place it was an awesome role, but we didn't get to see him enough. Also, I don't remember a Stan Lee cameo, and usually there's a Stan Lee cameo in every Marvel film, and this is a Marvel film. Because, even though it's owned by Fox, because the association. And I got kind of sad because I don't remember a Stan Lee cameo, and usually those are my favorite parts. I'm like, oh yeah, look, there's Stan Lee, but I didn't see one. If you saw it, please leave it in the comments and tell me where, because I'm going to see this film again soon. Anyway, and also, now let's get into the goods about this film. There's countless. The story was great. There's the story, they didn't idolize it too much where it's it could have been over the top, but no, every scene was worth it. There was no fat to the film. It was every scene. It went it didn't feel like it was however long it was, 2 hours and 12 minutes. And, not only the story, but the characters were developed so great, Mystique's story, Wolverine's. People were like, oh, Wolverine isn't the main character of this story. But, I really saw why he was the main character. He was the person running around, and, I think he was in most of the scenes. And same thing with Mystique. I didn't think her role would be that big, but no, it's a pretty big role, and I really, really liked that. The CGI on this film is awesome. It was the Quicksilver running, and just the Mystique scales was awesome too. The action in this film, there's not a lot of it, but when it's on, it's awesome. And for somehow, it's a comic book film that finds enough time to put in a lot of character story, a lot of great story, and also a lot of great action. And there was more story than action, but honestly, the action was so cool when it was on, especially the last scene where Magneto lifts the baseball stadium and drops it on the police cars and the Sentinels. And in the trailers, when I first saw the scene where I saw a lot of characters, I'm like, oh, I bet a few of those characters are just gonna die off. No, they play in a scene at the end where they're fighting the Sentinels, where it's a really good, worthy scene. And although okay, he's gonna live, everything's gonna go back, when Storm dies, you feel emotion. When Blink dies, you feel emotion. When Bishop dies, you feel emotion. You felt emotion for all of these characters, and I thought that was very good. The Beast was so well used. Magneto and Professor Xavier, their storyline was so great. And the acting in this film was also cool. Like Hugh Jackman, he has a lot of muscles. Like he's not only muscles, he's acting. And Jennifer Lawrence, she did great. In First Class, she wasn't that good, but in this one, she was great. She was on a scale with Rebecca Romaine. Magneto, Professor Xavier, just Beast, and Blink, just Kitty Pryde. I think that Ellen Page, she's in a lot of, voices and stuff, and I don't think she's that great of an actor. She did really good as Kitty Pryde. There's Bishop, who was really good, and I loved the scene where there was Professor X talking to the young Professor X, where he goes through Magneto and sees his mind, and they talk to each other because Professor X also gets into Wolverine's mind, and they talk. That scene was awesome, and again with the CGI of how he was like a ghostly looking figure was also great. And there was also that character. What I really liked, there was the Trask character, and I feel like he wasn't a twirl the mustache villain. He really thought that he was doing good for the world. Same thing with Magneto. Like when there was that scene where on the plane where Professor X and Magneto were talking to each other, he's like, "You abandoned me." "No, you abandoned us," and both sides of the story. Just, wow. And I liked how they didn't mention in the film that Trask was a small guy. They just acted like he was a normal fit guy. And I feel like in this film, the acting is so great. I feel like, yeah, that's Wolverine. I didn't see Hugh Jackman. I saw Wolverine. I didn't see Jennifer Lawrence. I saw Mystique. I didn't see Michael Fassbender. I saw Magneto. At least I think that's who. But it was so good. And what else? They dived right into the story. They didn't wait a while for the story to come like, oh, there's this build up of 30 minutes. No, they showed one cutscene. They went back in time of an epic fight, and Professor X and Magneto and Blink and I think Bishop are the only ones who remember, and they warned them that the Sentinels are coming, so they make Wolverine go in the past. And oh, it's so good. And the positives on this film are so good. I could talk about this film for probably the next few hours if I could. There's so many good things you can talk about. And honestly, I think it's a little early in the year, but this year so far that I've seen, I haven't seen a lot of I haven't seen a lot of Oscar-worthy films. I mean, there's Foxcatcher coming out, and in a year where there can be 10 nominations, I think that this is the best story-wise comic book we've ever seen. I thought about it for a while if Dark Knight was better, but I loved this. I think that I think it should be nominated for Best Picture. Even though it's early in the year, I think it should be, just because the people at the Oscars, the nominators, they should look at this film and say, okay, this is a comic book film, but this also has a great story. And also, the after credits scene, a lot of people didn't understand it, but I understood it with the whole apocalypse and how he was making the periods with his hands. And I made a joke. Oh, look, it's Master Builder from the Lego movie. But anyway, and then there was all the people bowing to him, and his 4 horsemen just, oh, it was so good, and it teased apocalypse. I loved this film overall. There's so much I could talk about, but I gotta end it here. Overall, I give this film a 9 out of 10. I think it was better than every film we've seen this year, except for Captain America, The Winter Soldier. I think that film was a little bit better, but even though X-Men Days of Future Past had a better story, Cap had a better action sequences. But still, I loved this movie. Anyway, thank you for watching this final draft of the movie review day. And thank you for watching. You can, if you want a question answered on the show, you can email me at pixar206@gmail.com. Anyway, this is Robert Burke of Robert's Movie Talk, out.